ICEBlock Media.
News with swearing. Daily beans, daily beans. Daily beans, daily beans.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Beans for Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Today, jury selection has started for Sean Dunn, also known as Sandwich Guy, on a misdemeanor assault charge in D.C. Corporate media strikes again as Teen Vogue has fired its entire politics desk. The deadline to remove rainbow crosswalks in Texas is approaching. Trump's energy secretary says there'll be no nuclear explosions testing. Trump told 60 Minutes in a heavily edited interview that he doesn't know who the crypto billionaire is that he just pardoned. The Food and Drug Administration chief has resigned. A new poll puts Trump at a lower approval rating than right after January 6th. The administration says it will partially fund SNAP, and Chicago locals take on ICE block by block. I'm Allison Gill.
And I'm Dana Goldberg.
Happy Tuesday, my friend. Happy Election Day.
Happy Tuesday to you, too. I hope you are listening, especially, obviously, vote all over the country. But if you're in California, yes, on Prop 50. Please, that's all I ask. As on Prop 50.
Yeah, there are tens of thousands of elections across the country right now. We'll see how these all turn out, especially since these new approval ratings have come out and they're terrible. We'll get into that in a second. Thanks also to everyone who watched my live Substack interviews yesterday on MilitiaRep.com with Wajaha Ali and Adam Klasfeld. Adam and I talked about what's going on in the 11th Circuit. They're basically nudging Eileen Cannon to hurry up and decide whether she's going to release Volume 2 of Jack Smith's final report. She's been sitting on this for 8 months, Dana.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least they're pushing her.
Yeah. Knight Institute filed to the 11th Circuit saying, hey, can you help us out here? It's been 8 months since this case has been dismissed.
Hi. Just a follow-up here.
3-judge panel on the 11th Circuit, including an Obama appointee, a Biden appointee, and a Trump appointee, said with no dissents, yeah, hey, Judge Cannon, you got 60 days. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And thanks to everybody who listened to that interview. Also, Pam Bondi. You know how Lindsay Halligan was the only person who signed the Letitia James indictment and the Jim Comey indictment?
Yes.
And they're saying she's not been appointed properly, and she hasn't, right? And judges in 2 other jurisdictions, 3 now, have found that 3 of Trump's appointed U.S. attorneys were unlawfully appointed, violating a couple of laws and the appointments clause in the Constitution. So Pam Bondi filed this thing with the court that said, actually, I'm retroactively appointing Lindsay Halligan.
Shut up.
As a special attorney going back to September 22nd. And oh my God, Steve Vladek's like, yeah, this isn't a thing. And I'm like, that was all I posted on social media was just PFFFFFT. Like,
that's hysterical. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
That's not how any of this works. So we'll see what happens with that. I kind of hope that it's not dismissed because of Lindsay Halligan. I kind of want to see these go to trial, or at least get to the meat of the other motions to dismiss, like vindictive and selective prosecution, abuse of the grand jury process, the Bronston motion. We talk about all of this on Unjustified. So definitely tune into that this weekend, because we're going to talk about this retroactive appointment. Oh my God. Tomorrow on the Beans, we're going to be speaking with Kat Abigazela. And I'm excited to interview her. She's been indicted wrongfully by the Department of Justice for protesting peacefully, slowing down a cop in their trying to do something. I hope she files a motion for vindictive and selective prosecution and cites the fact that 140 Trump supporters actually assaulted police and impeded the cops on January 6th.
Yeah.
And have been pardoned and have had their sentences commuted or had their charges dismissed. So we're going to talk tomorrow. And so you know how 2 judges said that one judge said Trump has to pay the SNAP benefits because there's a reserve for just this purpose, if they run out of money and the government shuts down, to use to pay SNAP benefits. And a judge ordered him to do that. And he came back today and said, we're going to do it partially, and it could take months.
It's such bullshit. They have the money. This infuriates me. And because what did he say last time? Oh, I don't think we have the ability to do that. We'll have to wait for the courts. And we covered this yesterday, and the courts came back and said, you can do that. And he's like, oh, it's going to take a long time and a lot of money. Yeah, you have the money. Do it.
Yeah. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, probably more in depth, about something Joe Neguse said when asked, about the SNAP benefits, and how the question that was posed to him was posed improperly, right? Mm. And he's like, look, the question you should be asking me isn't what are Democrats going to do if Trump doesn't, if there's no SNAP funding. The question should be, why is Trump breaking the law?
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that he said that. Also, thanks to all of our patrons who have provided tons of feedback so far on our first video episode of the Beans Talk, or whatever we're going to call it, our new video podcast. We appreciate your feedback. We're going to talk about that more on today's version of that video podcast. So I'm looking forward to that, especially the suggestion that we actually get some tinfoil hats.
I'm about to go on, not Amazon, because you shouldn't be shopping on Amazon, but I am going to go find tinfoil and make this, because that is such a hilarious suggestion. Every time I go on to one of my conspiracy little moments, we're going to put the hat on.
Yeah. Tinfoil hat time. Here we go. So that's something that could be done on a video pod, but not as, cleanly on an audio podcast. So, and we have tons of great feedback. If you want to give feedback, we're going to be putting out this video podcast just to patrons for the next month before we start releasing it to the public on December 1st. So if you want to be part of that, get in on the ground level. And then after it goes to the public, you'll be getting them ad free and early by remaining a patron. Sign up to be a patron. It's cheap and awesome. And you can be part of our community of supporters. And you can do that at patreon.com/thedailybeans. So appreciate all of you and your feedback. I'm looking forward to it. All right, we got a ton of news to get to today, but first we have some quick hits.
And to make a long story short, too late.
All right, Teen Vogue, who, as you know, we've covered this on the Beans. They've been doing amazing reporting recently. And they apparently, Dana, fired their entire politics desk.
Wow.
In a post from one of the reporters, Lex McMenamin, they say, I was laid off from Teen Vogue today, along with multiple other staffers, and today's my last day. Certainly more to come from me when the dust has settled more. But to my knowledge, after today, there will be no politics staffers at Teen Vogue. This
is such a shame because, like you said, they have been doing incredible journalism and reporting on things that mainstream media has been dropping. And not that Teen Vogue isn't part of mainstream media, but it's not a publication that you would expect some hard-hitting journalism to come from, and they've been phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's so disappointing.
It's hugely disappointing, and it's, just another casualty of the corporate media in this, authoritarian regime. It's very disappointing.
It is.
And I'm going to follow Lex McMenamin wherever they go because they're an incredible reporter.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much. This one's from the Post. Speaking of some journalism that's questionable sometimes, but we still cover them. This is from the Post. Energy Secretary Chris Wright said Sunday that the Trump administration is not planning on conducting nuclear explosions at this time.
Can you believe that sentence?
Yep. At this time, after the president ordered nuclear weapons testing last week. Well, we're not going to do it today, but they were ordered last week, but not today. And this is a quote. I think these tests we're talking about right now are system tests. That's what Wright told Fox News' The Sunday Briefing. These are not nuclear explosions. These are what we call non-critical explosions. So we're testing all the other parts of a nuclear weapon. So these are the same tests, by the way, we've been conducting since the 90s. Got it. Okay.
Yes. So you're not changing anything. Okay.
Yep.
All right, next up from The Guardian, Donald Trump's approval rating has fallen to one of its lowest points ever. It's actually its lowest point, with 37% of Americans expressing approval of his performance as president. The latest survey, conducted among 1,300 adults from 27 to 30 of October, not ages 27 to 30, but 27 to 30 October. The Guardian is European, so they do their dates differently. It shows 63% disapproval rating.
Wow.
That's a percentage point higher than his lowest ever recorded by CNN, which came the week after the January 6th attack on the Capitol. His approval rating is lower now. And when asked how things are going in the U.S., a majority of Americans, 68%, said pretty bad or very bad. Yikes. So that's really awful. 72% said the economy is garbage. 61% think that the economy is garbage because of Trump policies. And another 61% believe Trump has gone too far in using his presidential powers. That is abysmal polling.
Wow.
Just ahead of this election. And I need to be clear here, because Ben Collins at the Onion pointed this out, that the media is not saying this. Those numbers came in before he decided to withhold SNAP benefits to 42 million Americans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a big point. All right. Thanks, Allison. The last up in the quick hits. This is from the Times. Dr. George Tidmarsh, the head of the Food and Drug Administration's drug division, he resigned on Sunday amid an investigation into criticism he aired publicly about a drug tied to a former business associate. Little whistleblow there. Dr. Tidman said he was told Friday that the leave was related to a complaint lodged by Mr. Tang, a major investor in Arenia Pharmaceuticals. That's a Canadian-based company that makes the drug voclosporin. And by the way, that's a treatment for a type of lupus affecting the kidneys. The complaint involved a post that Dr. Tidmarsh wrote in LinkedIn. I'm telling you, LinkedIn's sketchy. In September, that criticized the drug as having little benefit and significant toxicities. So, yeah, he's out there. And when I talk about LinkedIn, I really just mean that it is an absolute nightmare if you've ever logged on to LinkedIn, and then all hell breaks loose. So it's sort of turned into Twitter.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty gross over there. But thank you for that. That's interesting. Right after and then the pharmaceutical company is mad.
Yeah.
Wow. Because he said it had significant toxicity. That's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that as this goes forward. But a lot of resignations happening in the Trump administration. All right, everybody, we have more news to get to. We have to get to the hot notes. But first, we're going to take a quick break. So stick around. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, everybody, it's that time of year. I spend more evenings curled up indoors, and my Helix mattress makes that downtime even better. I've had mine now for several years. As you know, it still gives me that brand new comfort every night. Before Helix, I dealt with lower back pain, constant tossing and turning, waking up drenched from overheating. I honestly thought I was just a bad sleeper, but as it turns out, I was sleeping on a mattress made for somebody else. But once I switched, everything changed. The support is incredible. The airflow keeps me cool. I finally wake up feeling refreshed instead of stiff and groggy. So now that we're entering the holiday season, my Helix feels like the best investment I've ever made. Between hosting family and friends, prepping for guests, doing the family Christmas, squeezing in shopping, my days are packed. Plus, I'm doing 15 shows a week. Sleep is my happy place. I love it. It's also peak cold and flu season, so quality rest really matters for staying healthy and boosting your immune system. And I love that Helix makes choosing the right mattress easy. Their sleep quiz matched me perfectly based on my position and how I sleep, my firmness preference, and comfort needs. Delivery was free and fast. The setup was simple. You even get a 120-night in-home trial and a lifetime warranty, and they're happy with Helix guarantee. So there's no stress if it's not a fit. Helix is also the most awarded mattress brand, praised by outlets like Forbes and Wired for a reason. It truly feels like a custom experience built for real people. So while you're shopping for everyone else this holiday season, give yourself the gift of great sleep. You deserve it. Go to helixsleep.com/dailybeans for 27% off site-wide. This is exclusive for listeners of the Daily Beans. That's helixsleep.com/dailybeans for 27% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name at the end and post-purchase survey so that they know that we sent you. Just go to helixsleep.com/dailybeans. You'll be glad you did. Hey, everybody, I'm not drinking these days, but I still love setting the scene for a good evening with my friends and family, and Naked Wines makes that easy. Whether it's a dinner party or a relaxed night in or a holiday gathering, their bottles always get people talking, and my guests love exploring the unique wines from these independent winemakers in their lineup. Naked Wines is a service that directly connects you to the world's finest independent winemakers, so you can get award-winning wine delivered straight to your door. So let's thank Naked Wines for supporting the show. Go to nakedwines.com/dailybeans and use our code DAILYBEANS for the code and the password, and you'll get their incredible deal of 6 bottles for just $39.99. The last bottle I enjoyed serving my friends was the Scott Peterson Rocks Russian River Valley Chardonnay. It's a 2022 grape. It came in my last box. I'm absolutely ordering more for the holidays. And I love moments like that. No screens, just good conversation, great food, and a bottle that feels special. That's what Naked Wines has given me, a way to slow down and savor time with the people that I care about. And what I love the most is how personal it feels. I can rate every bottle that I try, and the next box matches my taste even better than the last. Naked Wines has been around for over 15 years, supporting more than 90 independent winemakers. And by cutting out the middleman markups, they bring amazing wine straight from their wineries to your door at up to 60% less than store prices. It's affordable, it's ethical, it's delicious, and it makes me look like I actually know something about wine, which is cool. So now's the time to join the Naked Wines community. Head to nakedwines.com/dailybeans, click enter voucher, put in my code dailybeans, all one word, for the code and the password, and you'll get 6 bottles of wine for just $39.99 with shipping included. That's $100 off your first 6 bottles. That's nakedwines.com/dailybeans, and use the code and password dailybeans for 6 bottles of wine for $39.99. All right, everybody, welcome back. It's time for the hot notes.
Hot notes.
All right, first up from the Times, President Trump last month granted a pardon to Changpeng Zhao, the billionaire founder of a cryptocurrency exchange who had pled guilty to money laundering in 2023 and whose company struck a business deal in May involving Trump's family crypto venture. But now the president has claimed he doesn't know who Mr. Zhao is.
This was mind-blowing.
Mr. Trump distanced himself from Mr. Zhao in an interview with 60 Minutes broadcast on Sunday, during which he was questioned about the decision to pardon Mr. Zhao, who pled guilty in 2023 after being accused of money laundering violations that allowed criminals to move money on his cryptocurrency exchange, Binance. Quote, I don't know who he is. I know he got a 4-month sentence or something, and I heard it was a Biden witch hunt. Now, in seeking his pardon, Mr. Zhao hired lawyers and lobbyists with ties to the Trump administration, while Binance struck a business deal involving World Liberty Financial. That's Trump's family crypto venture that was expected to generate tens of millions of dollars a year for the Trump family. Asked whether he worried about the appearance of corruption, Mr. Trump replied he was not concerned, but then bristled, I'd rather not have you ask that question, but I'll let you ask it. During the interview, Mr. Trump suggested his older sons, Don Jr. and Eric, both of whom stood alongside him when he rolled out World Liberty Financial in 2024, were more involved in the family's crypto business than he is. Mr. Zhao, long considered the crypto industry's richest man, was convicted of a years-long investigation by financial regulators and prosecutors. The case was one of the government's most significant crackdowns on crypto crime. Mr. Trump drew a parallel between himself and Mr. Zhao, linking the federal prosecution of the crypto billionaire to the New York criminal case in which Mr. Trump was convicted of falsifying business records to cover up a sex scandal that threatened to derail his 2016 presidential campaign. And he was convicted on 34 counts. Quote, I was told he was the victim just like I was, like many other people, of a vicious, horrible group of people in the Biden administration. That's what Trump told 60 Minutes. That interview, by the way, Dana, was edited down from 70 plus minutes to less than a half an hour. And that's after Trump sued 60 Minutes for editing like a minute out of Kamala Harris's interview last year.
Yeah, that whole thing was wild, by the way, that question. Yeah. And he was basically like, you ready for this? I don't even know who the fuck that is. Like that, if he had cursed in that moment, that's what it would have been. And then this is what he does. He goes, I don't even know who that is. All I know is he got like 4 months. I'm like, wait, I thought you didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't ever want to hear anyone ever complain about an auto pen ever again. This motherfucker doesn't know who he's pardoning. Bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm surprised that there wasn't that follow-up.
Yeah.
Like you didn't sign every single pardon? What was it, auto pen?
Yep.
That would be my follow-up.
Oh, anyway. All right. We are moving to Texas. Well, I'm not moving to Texas. There's good people.
Amazing, amazing Texans.
Yeah, amazing. Austin, Houston, Dallas, I'll take you. Okay. At the intersection of North Main Avenue and West Evergreen Street, just north of downtown San Antonio, semi-faded rainbows connect each street corner in place of standard white crosswalks. The intersection is located at the center of the city's quote-unquote gay strip, and it's a cluster of blocks long known as a home to San Antonio's LGBTQ plus residents. City officials designated the area as the Pride Cultural Heritage District in June, 7 years after the Rainbow Crosswalk was laid down. But the colors that paved the four-way intersection, they may soon be erased as San Antonio and other Texas cities face a Friday deadline to decide whether to remove their queer-themed crosswalks or lose millions in state funding. The crackdown came at the behest, of course, of Greg Abbott, who directed the Texas Department of Transportation in early October to make sure cities and counties remove roadway art displays that, and I quote, advance political agendas and ideologies in the name of enhancing safety by limiting distractions. I just want to say it's been proven that rainbow crosswalks are safer because people can actually fucking see them than just the white ones. So if this is really about safety, bullshit. Yep. Advocates and local officials have said the order is not about safety, but it's rather a political move designed to strip away emblems commemorating areas with significant LGBTQ plus community or history.
Yep.
And I quote, there's nothing illegal about these crosswalks. This is Pride San Antonio executive James Poindexter. And he said there's nothing political about it. The politics is in Abbott's brain only. Which I love. Poindexter and others in San Antonio are adamant that they can win a legal battle against Abbott and come away with both the crosswalks and their funding, even as other cities have complied with the removal order, citing the risk of losing millions of transportation dollars. Last week, members of the community gathered to protest the San Antonio crosswalk's potential removal while celebrating the installation of a new plaque at the intersection that honors the area's new designation as a heritage district. The state's order to remove the crosswalks follows a similar request Federal Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy made in July as part of a new initiative designed to decrease accidents on non-freeway roads. Duffy decried political symbols on public roadways in a press release announcing the initiative, though in a separate letter calling for states to participate, he did not mention political messaging, instead broadly directed officials to enforce proper roadway markings. Like San Antonio, several of Texas's largest cities have rainbow crosswalks at the heart of neighborhoods historically nurturing of the state's LGBTQ plus population. The rainbows are found in what they call the gayborhood of Montrose and Houston and Dallas's Oak Lawn, where the Texas Historical Commission has recognized the area's LGBTQ plus history as cultural contribution to the state. They are everywhere in Texas cities. They truly are.
Love Oak Lawn. I haven't been to Montrose, but love Oak Lawn. This is just like Florida, right?
Yeah.
Trying to remove that. It just seems like a First Amendment. Yeah.
It is. And I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot more churches, a lot more affirming churches, if they do this, paint their steps like the other one did. And so there's going to be a lot of restaurants and a lot of churches that they can't touch because those are private. And I guess you can't touch the church steps anyways, because that's religious expression.
Yeah. You take down one rainbow, 1,000 are going to pop up.
Yep.
Watch. Or a Streisand effect, literally. All right. Next up from Reuters, the immigration agents' tear gas grenades clinked and then exploded against the concrete, shrouding the block in plumes of white gas. The dozen or so residents at the scene only screamed louder, "We don't want you here," including Ray Lindenberg, the 32-year-old who works in marketing. She ran out of her apartment when she heard the shrill sounds of whistles. "Get out of our neighborhood," she yelled. The squad of agents had appeared in Lakeview last month, the upscale neighborhood dotted with dog daycares, medical spas, and vegan restaurants, hopping over a gate to chase down a construction worker who was handcuffed and shoved into a vehicle. When Courtney Conway, a 42-year-old lifelong Chicago resident, heard about the chase through Facebook groups and text message chains, she hopped on her bike to join the protesters. Quote, "We are not a violent city. This is not a war zone, and I think these guys are terrorizing us and trying to incite us," said Conway. "We want them out. We want them to stop kidnapping our neighbors." Chicago, a city of 2.7 million, has long been known as a patchwork of close-knit neighborhoods. And since the city took center stage of Trump's immigration crackdown in September, those neighborhoods have mobilized against enforcement efforts, sometimes block by block. The hyper-local effort spun into dozens of chats on social platforms and has helped create a type of zone defense that activists say has slowed down immigration agents and in some cases forced them to withdraw without making an arrest. In Facebook groups and on Signal chats, tens of thousands of residents regularly crowdsource information on immigration agents' last known locations, neighborhoods being targeted that day, and importantly, the license plates, makes, and models of the rental cars used by agents, which can change daily. Some ICE spotting Facebook pages in Chicago, Dana, have up to 50,000 members. Super proud of our friends in Chicago defending their neighbors block by block like this.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, this one's from NBC. Jury selection started Monday in the trial of former Justice Department employee Sean Dunn, also known as the Sandwich Guy, months after he went viral for throwing a salami sub at a Customs and Border Protection ICE agent in D.C. at very close range. It was very close range. It was right in his chest, and it made me giggle. In return, prosecutors hit Dunn with a misdemeanor assault charge in August. That came a day after U.S. Attorney Box of Wine, Janine Pirro's office, failed to persuade a grand jury to indict Dunn on felony charges. A suboptimal resort for the prosecutors, of course. Dunn pleaded not guilty to the misdemeanor charge in September. The case is proceeding after a judge rejected the government's motion to delay the trial because of a disagreement over jury instructions. Jury selection, can you imagine being on this fucking case? Jury selection is being done in open court, but U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols is using technology, including a white noise machine, to block members of the public and the media from hearing what the potential jurors are being asked and what they're answering. In the past, such broad restrictions on jury selection have been found to be unconstitutional. Dunn's lawyers have claimed the case is selective vindictive prosecution, arguing that he was singled out for prosecution, not because of the nature of his alleged conduct, throwing a soft object that caused no injury, but because his outspoken viral critique of the current administration's policing and immigration policies made him a political target. Federal prosecutors opposed Dunn's lawyers' motion to dismiss the charge completely, writing that Dunn was, and I quote, recorded throwing a sandwich at a federal officer at point-blank range.
Point blank range.
A video of Dunn throwing the meat sandwich at federal officers quickly ricocheted.
Sorry. Throwing the meat sandwich?
Yep, at point-blank range. That sounds pretty, yep. And there's a new porn search. Way to go, Allison, on Pornhub just exploded. A video of Dunn throwing the meat sandwich at federal officers quickly ricocheted around the internet, and Washingtonians pushed back against President Donald Trump's move to deploy federal officers and National Guard troops in the nation's capital. Since then, Sandwich Guy has become a bread and butter part of DC's resistance to the president. Dunn's throw was depicted in stickers, murals, and even Halloween costumes. I'm actually surprised Banksy didn't make one of these on a wall. The sandwich incident took place days after National Guard troops began arriving in the Capitol as part of Trump's effort to fight crime. The administration also deployed additional federal agents into the city who set up police checkpoints and made immigration arrests, sparking backlash from residents who argued the moves were an overreach. The August incident, captured on video, shows Dunn yelling at officers in the U Street corridor, which is a popular nightlife area. And he said, "Fuck you." That's what Dunn said. "You fucking fascists. Why are you here? I don't want you in my city." And then he threw a sandwich at his chest and ran in his loafers, pink shorts, and a polo shirt. And Mail Team 6 couldn't catch him for a few blocks.
They threw his meat sandwich at point blank range.
I know.
I can't. Oh, I can't. I'm afraid he might actually get convicted of this misdemeanor because it is technically simple assault to throw a sandwich, to throw anything at anybody. Oh my God. Fuck you, you fucking fascist sandwich. I talked about this on the breakdown on Sunday. There were all over DC. People had those giant skeletons dressed in a pink polo and khaki shorts with a Subway sandwich.
My God, that's fantastic.
All over the city. And then people were dressed up as him for Halloween. And Banksy, I don't think, did a mural, but somebody took the Banksy mural of the protester throwing the bouquet of flowers and put a Subway sandwich in his hand. And if you go to the corner where he threw his meat sandwich, there's one up on the wall. Sort of a dedication to him. He's a hero. He's a hero in the city. We'll see what the jurors do. If you're on the jury and you're listening, my signal is in my Blue Sky bio. Reach out. I'll keep you anonymous. Oh my gosh, that's so good. All right, everybody. We're going to be right back with the good news and your good trouble. Stick around for this quick break. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. It's AG. Does reading the news make you totally lose your shit? Do you wish there was a way to make a difference anyhow? Then check out Red Wine and Blue's new podcast, How to Not Lose Your Shit. Red Wine and Blue is a community of more than 500,000 diverse suburban women working together to defeat extremism. And they have a theory. What if politics and self-care aren't actually opposites? What if connecting with our neighbors and making real positive change can make us feel even better than a bubble bath or a manicure? How Not to Lose Your Shit is hosted by Katie Paris, the founder of Red Wine and Blue, and LaFonda Cousin, the chief people officer and self-care advocate and part-time yoga teacher. Every week, they're talking to experts and everyday women who are getting involved, building community, and feeling better in the process. So listen and subscribe now to How Not to Lose Your Shit wherever you get your podcasts. Everybody, welcome back. It's time for the good news.
Likes good news, everyone. Then good news, everyone.
Good news. All right. If you have any good news or good trouble suggestions, if you have a shout out to a loved one or a family member, yourself, we love self shout outs. A shout out to a small business or a nonprofit, maybe a food bank that could use a boost right now. You can let us know. Maybe a shout out to a government program that's helped you or a loved one. You can send that to us. Any good thing that happened to you, big or small, yesterday or 20 years ago, we want to hear from. We need to microdose the happiness. You can send it to us at dailybeanspod.com and click on contact. You can also send us your jokes. We would love to hear your jokes, street jokes or otherwise. Joke that you made up, send it to us. Dad jokes, always welcome. All you got to do to get your stuff read on the air is pay your pod pet tariff, which means attach a photo of your pet. And if you don't have a pet, you can attach an adoptable pet in your area. We'll see if we can find him a home. And if you don't have that, really just grab any random photo of any animal off the internet. We especially love baby animals. You can also send baby pictures, your baby pictures, families' baby pictures, awkward family photos, photos of your Halloween costumes, photos of you and your friends or some great signs you've seen at a No Kings rally. Maybe photos of you in your living room with all your friends writing postcards for the elections today. Send it to us, dailybeanspod.com. Click on contact. Don't forget your bird watching photos. You and your friends and your family flipping the bird to Trump buildings. All right, first up is our good trouble. And this comes from Kickassatron, pronouns he and they. Hey, ladies of the legumes, love the show. Been listening since the kitchen table days. Woot woot. Want to give a shout out to an incredible group of people volunteering with the New Hampshire Mutual Aid Relief Fund. We have weekly free stores set up around the state and welcome all, and we mean all, shoppers. We offer hygiene, first aid, food, donated clothes, shoes, and blankets, as well as a bunch of other stuff that's escaping my mind right now. I volunteer at the Nashua store, and I've gotten to see firsthand the results of the end of the SNAP benefits. Last week, we started with a full food table that usually lasts for most of the hour that we're open, and it was picked clean in 7 minutes. If anybody would like more info about helping us out, or if you're inclined to make a donation, we can be found at nhmarf.org. We'll have a link in the show notes. I would like to encourage listeners to look in their areas for similar mutual aid organizations to try to fill the gap left by the government shortfalls. And that's mutualaidhub.org. For pet tax, I give you Shiloh, looking like she's ready to summon a demon on one of my tapestries. Look at the baby. Okay, so those cat eyes with the big pupils, I call those softy eyes because they love you, or they're hunting and plotting your death. You never know. It's anywhere. It could be anywhere in between. Thank you, Kickassatron, and we'll have those links for mutual aid in the show notes.
All right. This next one is from B, pronouns she and her. Hello, Lady Beans.
Hello.
Petty pronunciation correction. It's Pickerington. Exactly how it's spelled, and my hometown. And you're certainly not alone in the mispronunciations. Being in marching band during my high school years there, we heard every imaginable reconfiguration of those syllables, most of which you landed on. Pickerton, Pinkerton, Picton, and yes, we did call it P-Town, shouted confidently from a stadium speaker. While I transplanted to Alaska 15 years ago, it always delights me to hear Pickerington mentioned, so thanks, Anonymous, for making my day yesterday. My pod pet tariff is my boy Derek. He's 15, demanding, picky, loudly airs his grievances, and love him to bits. Also a backyard moose for that Alaska feel. Thanks for doing what you do and keeping us all connected.
A cat and moose. Look at that. Moose are big. They're like really big. What a sweet baby. Thank you for that, B. Pickerington. Wonderful. Next up, a quietly subversive Fed. Oh, great. Pronouns she and her. I love this. Hello, AG and DG. I'm furloughing during the shutdown, but my friends are not. Since I have time, I started a Facebook group for Feds in my small town of Elgin, Texas, just east of Austin. That's a hard G in Elgin. Oh, Elgin, Texas. Thank you. I've been posting everything I can find about food banks and pantries and any other assistance that's available. My friends and I, who have went through the last long shutdown, are answering questions for members who haven't been through anything like this before. It's not much, but it feels good to know I'm doing something. My personal good news is that I managed to pay my mortgage and other bills this month, though I don't think I'll be able to do it again. So if the shutdown continues much longer, I may have to use some of the resources I'm posting for others. As my pod pet tariff, I've attached 2 pictures of my Halloween dragon. We had really high winds 2 days before Halloween, and he flew off, but luckily he only went to visit a neighbor who returned him in time for me to post him in the front yard again before the big night. I'm so sorry to hear this so quietly subversive, Fed.
Yeah.
I'm so glad of the resources you're providing. Keep in mind, there are a lot of credit unions that are offering 0 interest loans during the furlough. There's a list of them on Bernie Sanders' website. And the Halloween dragon is beautiful, by the way. I'm glad you have him back. And look, he's moored now. He's tied down so he doesn't blow away again. Thanks for your post.
All right. Thank you so much. This is from Gail Whoever, pronouns she and her, walking today with my adorable dog, Reggie, pictured here in his new tie, and saw him more than 10 vignettes, 2 pictured here, that people staged along the bike trail and thought you all would appreciate the Halloween spirit as we try to survive this crazy ass world. I would send you more cute pics of skeletons and funny costumes and settings, but limited to 3 photos, especially like the ones of them playing Twister. Love your beans. Thanks for all your hard work. And oh my goodness, those skeletons playing Twister are fantastic.
That is really great. I love that. Oh, look, autumn leaves falling. We don't have that here in San Diego. I miss the trees turning and the leaves falling and then raking them up into a big pile and jumping into it. Thank you for that and those little memories. Next up from Anonymous, pronouns she and her. Hi, Beans Queens. Just wanted to submit some good news. A shout out to a great public health program we have here in Arizona. My son was born almost 6 weeks early and spent about 2.5 weeks in the NICU. Fortunately, he was pretty healthy and just needed a little extra time to bake. Because of his NICU stay, he was automatically enrolled in the Arizona High-Risk Perinatal Program, which sends a nurse to our house periodically to check on his milestones. The nurse who runs the program in Maricopa County, Mary, is incredible and has become an invaluable resource to me and my family. She is also so knowledgeable and really cares about her patients. We're so fortunate to have her in our lives. We're grateful to Arizona for providing this program. It gives us a glimpse of what public health looks like at its finest instead of what it currently looks like in Washington, D.C. For my pod pet tax, I'm including a photo of a furless baby, Yzma, all dressed up as her namesake for Halloween. Oh, look at the naked baby.
I love them.
Oh, so sweet. Anonymous, thank you. And thanks for shouting out some healthcare workers in Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. My goodness.
Everybody, thank you so much for your good news. Please send all your good news to us, dailybeanspod.com. Click on contact. I had a good news thing happen to me today, Dana.
Hit me with it.
I was actually walking down the street and somebody pulled over and rolled down their window and said, Allison? And I said, hello? And they said, you're Allison from the Daily Beans, right? You're a Mueller,
oh my
wrote,
gosh.
right? I love your shows, she says. You probably hear that all the time, but I thought you should know, in case you don't, that I appreciate everything that you do. And I was just walking down the street. That was really nice. Nice thing that happened to me today. So thank you to you. You know who you are. And somebody who's, I guess, been listening since the kitchen table days. If you're a new listener, by the way, we have like thousands of new listeners. The kitchen table days, I started the Mueller, She Wrote podcast in 2017 at my kitchen table with like one shitty microphone that the 3 of us shared. It was terrible sound quality. You could still hear them. They're still up on the internet. They're still up on wherever you get your podcasts. But that's what the kitchen table days means. Back when you could hear the fridge running in the background and we're all on a $49 Audio Technica. And it's testament that if you want to do something, just start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't have to be perfect. Just start. And it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. It's by Ray Bradbury. He says, we have to jump off cliffs and build our wings on the way down.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I need to get that tattooed on me somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Maybe that's the next one. Anyway, thank you all so much.
I'm thinking about getting one too. I just have to decide what it's going to be. Yep.
Is it throw your meat sandwich at me at point
That's
blank
right.
range?
Right across my chest.
Maybe in Old English lettering, but like in
It's
Latin.
actually just going to be the explosive meat sandwich on my chest because that's the least lesbian thing I could possibly think of right now.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how you define a meat
At
sandwich.
least it's not a pearl necklace.
All right, everybody, please send your good news to us. dailybeanspod.com. Click on contact. Even if it's just a shout out, even if you just want to say hi, we would love to hear from you. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. And thanks again to our patrons for all the feedback you're giving us on our new video podcast. If you want to become a patron and catch those and get in on the ground floor and give your input, help shape what we're doing for this podcast that we're going to be releasing to the public December 1st, just go to patreon.com/thedailybeans. Everybody will be back in your ears tomorrow. Any final thoughts? Do you have any tickets left for Chicago?
There's 30. We're down to 30 tickets for Chicago.
Oh, boy.
And there's one random ticket that opened up for the 7 p.m. show. I'm not sure if it's still there. I haven't looked, but when you go to the site, it'll tell you if there's any tickets left. I think maybe someone switched from the 7 to the 9 p.m. So go on there from time to time, but I think there's 30 left for the 9 p.m. in Chicago. You can get them at danagoldberg.com, hit my tour schedule, and go on down to the November 14th date.
Yep, the Outrageous Tour at the Annoyance Theater. Get them while they're hot and available. I'm not going to make another meat sandwich joke there. I'm just going to end the show. Everybody will be back in your ears tomorrow. Until then, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, take care of the planet, take care of your mental health, and take care of your family. And on this International Sandwich Day, yes, I looked it up, pour one out for Sandwich Guy. I'm AG.
And I'm DG.
And them's the beans.
The Daily Beans is written and executive produced by Allison Gill with additional research and reporting by Dana Goldberg. Sound design and editing is by Desiree McFarlane, with art and web design by Joelle Reeder with Moxie Design Studios. Music for The Daily Beans is written and performed by They Might Be Giants, and the show is a proud member of the MSW Media Network, a collection of creator-owned podcasts dedicated to news, politics, and justice. For more information, please visit mswmedia.com.
MSW Media.